Damn it. Really hope this won't mess up the sound. We can make this work really quick here. One second, guys. I gotta do something real quick here. Hi, Omega. Hi, Bub. Excuse me. Hi, everyone. There is no... Yeah, you should not be hearing the game yet. No fearness. Just gonna... This. There we go. Now we got Twitch chat set up properly. On the stream. How is the sound for everyone right now? I do tend to be rather disembodied in my voice. At least, that's what I'm told. I really hope the temperature goes down soon, because it is really hot in here. I moved the fan actually back out into the hallway. So I've got air blowing kind of generically into my room's direction. Well, Mass Effect is kind of a quiet game to begin with. The intro is going to be a lot louder. I'm actually going to just go ahead and start it over. But right now it's at 30%. I think Saturday we were doing 40%, so we'll just boost it to 40 right now. Like that. And you guys can let me know how it is. So, because of the snafu... Well, okay. How many of you guys didn't catch the beginning of the Saturday stream? Real quick. So, as I glance at everyone's responses here, it does seem to be there's a couple people who didn't catch Saturdays. For the sake of our viewers who are catching this via YouTube, but I will let the stream decide this, how many of you guys would like to hear a little bit of the backstory of Zaydenra herself and how the Mass Effect galaxy entered into the Imperium and the beginning of it and all that fun stuff? Oh, and Guido, yes, the cable guy did do something, just... I have a feeling that what was actually done, based on what I was overhearing from the guy he was on the phone with, was actually on their end. What a shock. And then he went ahead and swapped out the modem, and it very much felt like he was swapping the modem to, you know, make it look like he did more than he did, because swapping the modem would not change that situation. Well, we're losing frames. We're losing frames. We're gone. We're offline. You gotta be kidding me. I just started. Okay, we're back. It's the same damn thing. Come on, reconnect, stream. Reconnect. Come on. Get back in there. You know, I actually don't know if I'm live right now, but I don't actually believe in jinxes, so I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I'm going to hope that was a blip, because that wasn't acting like most of the disconnects. I know you guys don't see it, but on my end, that looked different. I've still got my network tracking up over here, and that was a completely different situation. That was literally just a total loss of connectivity for about 15 seconds, which is not what it was doing earlier. I'm really hesitant to start talking, though, I'll tell you what. It's either fixed or it isn't. There's nothing more I can do at this point. Everything that can be done on my end has been done. Wow. Let's go ahead and assume this is going to work. And even if nothing else, I'll go ahead and upload this to the YouTube. Let's talk about some things with regards to the Imperium and the Dark Energy Galaxy, which is what this is actually referred to in lore in the within the Imperium. Now, I'm hesitant on how much backstory I want to give you guys. I'm not sure how much you actually care about, basically. I don't want to tell you stuff you don't want to know. Like, I could tell you about how this happened during the period of the Arisal. I could tell you about how nobodies... I need to come up with a new name one of these days. I'm actually thinking about just changing it to Echoes. How the Echoes are and how they came into existence, and trying to figure out what they were doing with themselves in their lives, the formation of what would eventually become the Bastion, you know, blah, 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 the School 52 galaxy, or excuse me, School 52 system, all that fun stuff. I'm not sure how much of that you want to hear, because that's just kind of all lead up, so I'll let you guys decide. As ever, this is, you know, your show as much as it is mine. I love talking about my stories, so I don't actually, I'm totally down for that, but it's up to you guys, not me. And it's up to Canada Dry! Please, please give me a sponsorship, Dr. Pepper. I could use the money right now to pay off my damn hospital bill. Seriously, if I could pay my hospital bill off right now, I would be doing so much better financially. It's not even funny. That would just be such a relief. But it's got like $9,000 left on it, and that's... Assuming I pay it off at the standard rate, that's not going to be done until like next September or something like that. And by next, I mean 2015, for anybody who's wondering. I'm not going to tell you everything, because holy crap, nobody wants to hear the entire storyline of the Imperium. Give me a break. Let's go ahead and start with this. Once upon a time, there was a planet called Earth. It was the only planet that had sentient life on it. It was the only planet that had really developed any sort of civilization or anything of that manner. And let's just say things went really interesting at one point in time there, okay? There's a period that is referred to as the Incursion. Now, I'm going to deliberately not tell you what happened during the Incursion, because that's actually a story, like, if I was to write this all out, the Incursion, which is the event that starts off the entire Imperium, I would not actually write about until way over here, for reasons that would become more obvious later on. It's trust me, it all ties in its own way. Point being, the Incursion happens, and something that I refer to as core energy is introduced into reality. Core energy is actually just a layman's term for physics being altered to function in a different manner. Now, I actually know a fair amount about quantum physics and physics in general, and that general... I don't even know what to call that general type of concept and avenues of science. So forgive me for not having the actual words to explain what I mean, but so in again, more layman's terms, what happens here is core energy alters the way that matter, energy, and everything in between interact with each other on a fundamental level. So basically, the very fabric of reality has been permanently altered, if that makes any sense. Just had another lag spike, but nothing too bad. We didn't lose connection. Anyways, with this, with core energy... Well, see, core energy isn't actually a substance, nor is it an energy. It's literally a layman's term. It exists for people who don't understand how physics work to explain and refer to it as in official reports, because there's actually a whole thing with that. I'm not going to get into right now because it's not relevant for this moment. Suffice it to say that from this moment on, reality was fundamentally altered at the most fundamental level that we know exists. Now, this led way to several things happening. First and foremost, anything that you've seen in virtually any fictional setting that is quote-unquote fantastical, whether it be psionics or space magic, I don't even remember what they call it in Mass Effect, the Mass Effect itself, faster-than-light travel, warp drive in Star Trek, light speed in Star Wars, the gates that they use in Mass Effect, again, but as well as in Babylon 5, for example. People who actually can cast literal magic, either in terms of direct weaving or in actual spells. All of that is something that can exist because of core energy. I'm just going to start using the bunny ears because that explains a little bit better, I think. All of that can happen because of the way that reality has been fundamentally altered on a base level, the bedrock level. Now, there were some consequences, some very, very severe consequences of this, not the least of which being I forget the name of the tectonic plate, but it's the one that's under most of East Africa, leading under the Indian Ocean, was cracked in half. Anybody who knows anything about what that would mean would probably understand why that was what we would consider a bad thing. So, lots of people died really, really badly, in the range of about 2 billion, I believe, is the rough amount I decided, for reasons I'm not going to go into right now. There's a reason for it. A lot of people died, a lot of people started organizing, a lot of people started trying to fundamentally continue forward in their in the way that they function, in the way that they are becoming, because reality itself... we're losing connection again. Come on, come back. We just keep blipping out, it's really weird. Anyways, people who had already been alive prior to the incursion, prior to all this incident, more or less randomly suddenly became expressions of this new way that reality works. People who could cast magic, people who are psionic, people who were mutants, to use, had superpowers, that kind of a thing. Those sort of things just kind of started happening. I'd say it's random, but that's actually not true. There's a very specific pattern to it, which I'm not going to bore you with right now. But this started happening, it happened at a very accelerated rate until it basically just kind of stopped. And about 30% of the populace were, metas, to borrow the comic term, and the other 70% of the populace were just normal, plain old humans, right? Well, a lot of other things happened, but this is when the individual who I've been referring to as the Emperor first started actually organizing this stuff, because there were certain beings of tremendous, indeed, incredible power. One of them was named Magus, and one of them was named Merlinae. Both of them were gone. They were off dealing with someone else. They had some kind of horrible threat to deal with. Nobody even knew what or why, and nobody would ever see them again, to give you an idea of how that works. So, the Emperor, original name unknown, I've actually got him out of my way to never write his original name because it's one of those lost to history ideas, but the point being, the Emperor, who was just a normal human, started organizing people. He had a great deal of natural charisma and started trying to basically ensure that people would cooperate and function within this new, horribly altered society, because everything, societally, culturally, etc., would be fundamentally changed by this thing, even if 2 billion people didn't just die. So, now, one of the other consequences of this death is some people's souls would continue on, basically in the area or realm after they died, and would then recoalesce sometimes artificially, sometimes naturally, into, I'm just going to start calling them echoes, but, you know, the nobodies, as I've referred to them previously, they would start becoming echoes of what they previously were. Effectively the same individual that they first were, but missing bits and pieces of their soul or their self, or whatever you would prefer to call it. And so, basically they become an extension of pure will. They don't actually have a physical body that they are tied to, per se. They can express their form however they choose. The catch is they have to constantly will themselves to continue existing. Now, one of the earliest echoes that existed was a man who called himself Zagmus. Zagmus is someone I've talked about before, especially with regards to the Imperium. He started gathering these echoes together and coordinating them because they had some unique abilities that basically only they could do based on the nature of their existence, or rather non-existence, depending on how you define it. So this is all just backstory here, okay? This is all set up. Now, we fast forward about 2 centuries, give or take. There is a human... there was a woman who died, okay? This woman name was Andrea. Now, she, again, echoes continued to formulate, continued to coalesce, even after some time, usually from people who had died, not necessarily from the original 2 billion, but from other people, because, you know, deaths keep happening. This is the period known as the Arisal, by the way, when the Empire was actually formed, and people started spreading out in order to, you know, form what would eventually become the Intergalactic Imperium, or Inter, that's correct, Intergalactic Imperium, excuse me. Andrea was a woman who had a very unique set of talents. She was not particularly strong, physically or magically or mentally or whatever. She was not particularly intelligent, but she was high, at the high end of the bell curve, don't get me wrong, but her greatest strength was in being basically the glue that was capable of getting things done through the people around her and the tools that are around her and all those things. With all that was around her, she was able to use it properly and functionally in order to accomplish things. She was very good at that. So Zagmus actually approached her, or excuse me, no, she died. I'm rewinding. So Andrea, that was actually when she was still alive. Andrea managed to recoalesce as an echo, and Zagmus was the first one to found her, gave her her new name, Zaydenra, which should also sound rather familiar for some of you people. Zaydenra basically didn't have many assignments because her skill set was very unique, but she was best suited for certain settings where it was most in certain areas where it was very important. Never, Tigran. I guess I could do this. Here, hang on. We'll do this real quick. So, anyways, it was very important for the way the Bastion works. They don't just walk in militarily and change things. They don't just say, okay, this is how things are working now. They don't just stomp in and say, all right, this is the way this is functioning going to happen, or we're fixing this or whatever. That's for other departments. That's for the military, most especially, to deal with. The Bastion infiltrates because, again, they can express themselves basically however. And so what a Bastion member will do, I should rephrase this, what an agent of the Bastion, and there's only like 8 of these people, 8 of these 8 agents, or I think there's actually 10 agents, will infuse themselves as a newborn child of whatever species that's appropriate within the world or setting or galaxy or whatever that they are going to be infiltrating in order to try and fix it, help it, aid it, and then eventually escalate it to the intergalactic community from within. And the reason they do this whole thing is the concept that working through a system is better than working against it or sidestepping it. And also because they are actually born there and they do actually live the full totality of their lives, they have all the experiences and knowledge and cultural, societal history necessary in order to fully interact with the world or galaxy or whatever around them as if they were a native, because they technically are a native in the way that matters. Obviously, however, they are still themselves. You know, if they died, they would not actually, you know, if their body died, I should say, they would not die, they would continue. If they, but they would consider that a failure of their mission, ergo, they do actually still very much care about staying alive and accomplishing whatever it is they're there to do. Lag spike. Come back, come back. So, so let's go ahead and skip ahead a little bit to when we encounter the Dark Energy Galaxy. Now, the Dark Energy Galaxy was obviously artificially designed in such a way where the time flow, relative time flow within the Dark Energy Galaxy was speeding at an enormous rate. It was a psychotic rate. The rough amount is, give or take, about 50,000 years every month of time for everyone else. So this prevented several problems and also explains a lot of why things ended up the way they ended up. But basically, the Imperial Science League discovered this galaxy as they were exploring, as they tend to do. Find this place, and, you know, tons and tons and tons of stuff is happening at such an accelerated rate. Even with the advanced technology the Empire has, they have a tremendous difficulty in even figuring out what is happening within this galaxy. So they pool the resources of the local region in order to try and basically stop this artificial acceleration, or at least slow it down a bit so they can figure out what's going on. They successfully managed to slow it down and figure out what's going on to some extent at the cycle of extermination just before the Protheans. Spoiler alert. And so they see what's happening, they see the Reapers sweeping through this place and destroying everything, and the Empire, of course, is like, oh my god, we have to do something right now. Thing is, they were very unwilling to just send someone in there in such a heavily dilated place of time relativity, because effectively that would be a sentence worse than death for anybody that did that. No and yes, Arcenter. Basically no, though, is the answer. So they pooled the extensive resources of basically the entire Empire, drew much more attention on a much higher scale within the hierarchy of the military and the government, managed to get this galaxy into the point where it would then be functioning at the same relative time rate that everywhere else is. About the time they managed that was right before the people on Earth within the Mass Effect setting discovered the first mass relay gate. So it was decided, as they examined this place, this is actually was something they discovered earlier, but I mention it now because it's more relevant now. As they were examining this galaxy, they noticed that it was very artificially constructed. One of the things that was very unusual about its construction is it was designed in such a way that any sort of major upheaval within its structure, societally, culturally, etc., would basically destroy it fundamentally from the inside out. And what I mean by that is, like, for example, let's say Bahamut, the Platinum Dragon, shows up to do something. The mere presence of a creature like that and the abilities he has and all that stuff would fundamentally alter the way the culture and the civilization throughout most of the galaxy actually functions, and would effectively be destroying that culture, which is something the Empire is not okay with and never has been. Yes, Peef, you are still fully aware of yourself, you have all your memories, all your personality, and all your power, actually, as well. As I believe I mentioned, the Echoes are not exactly schlubs when it comes to abilities. Although Zaydenra is one of the weakest of the agents of the Bastion, with Zagmus being the strongest, for reference. And everyone has their own little skill sets. Yeah, that's what I meant to say. So, understanding that this galaxy was so strangely constructed, they had to send someone who would be able to function as a plain old ordinary human, basically. They had to be able to deal with this Reaper threat that the Empire, of course, knows is coming because they watched it happen in ultra fast forward, but they still know it's there. So they're well aware of the Reaper threat right off the get-go. And they know this has to be stopped, and the preference is to do it from within. Now, the backup plan was always going to be, if it can't be happened, yeah, okay, we'll just come in because saving these people's lives is more important than preserving their culture, history, side, etc. But first, they wanted to send a person. So Zaydenra was specifically picked because, again, she is the weakest of all the agents. However, she is very skilled at using the tools that are at her disposal, so she would be very accustomed to basically just being a very, high end of the bell curve human. who's good with a gun, who's good with people, and who knows how to use her brain and her cunning in order to get things done. So she was inserted, went through some really horrible stuff, as you'll see when we get to her history, career, background stuff. And that leads us to Mass Effect. Any questions? No, Permius, she's a MacGyver when he was in Stargate. I wonder if anyone will actually get that. Okay. Set this back up. Oops. Lose the audio again, because that's what happens. Nope. One more pixel. One more pixel. That's all I want. There we go. Mass Effect 3's ending is not the question to be asked, because Mass Effect 3 in its entirety is different. That is absolutely correct, Peef. That is one of the problems when you deal with a situation like this. That actually happens in real life a lot, Peef. To use a very immediate example for people in the States, Hurricane Katrina was not exactly something people weren't aware of as being a problem. And yet it still took forever for the logistics and the bureaucracy and the actual means to get there to function. That's always been the trouble with all of society throughout all of history, by the way, up until the modern age, is that we have the ability to deal with A, B, and C, but getting A, B, and C to where they are needed, that's the hard part. And so this is what happened here is exactly that. They weren't even fully aware of the full catastrophe of what was happening within the Dark Energy Galaxy until it had already happened several times, and then there was literally just constant struggle and rush to get people here to try and deal with the situation, and even then the problem is already happening, so every second of delay is horrible. In fact, let's do a little math really quick, just for fun. Whoops. I guess we're gonna get rid of the sound anyways because we're doing this. So let's see. Give me just a moment here. Wait, I'm doing this in the wrong direction. Okay, so that's what I need. Okay. Okay, so 1/600th. So 600th. Oh my god. So okay. Divided by minutes, hours. So to give you a little bit of an idea here, every second that was passing in real life, roughly 7 days were passing within the Dark Energy Galaxy, to give you an idea of the ratio of how quickly things were happening. No, Tigran. There are two things that are phenomenons that exist within the Imperium. One of them is artificial, one of them is not. There are actually quite a few Earths that have been found in multiple places, often multiple Earths within the same galaxy. They tend to be, they're almost always very similar with a few changes to our Earth. Most people, I of course know the actual answer to this, but there is a reason why this happens. But the Empire, as an organization, is not actually aware of why this happens. The fact that these alternate Earths were found led the Empire to start artificially doing things, which is called seeding, where they just artificially create a clone system, actually, to make the whole thing concrete as possible, and then have have an artificial Earth and seed it in such a way so that it will develop in such a way. There are several different things that happen with this, but. So no, this is not actually old Earth, or rather new Earth, actually, as it's referred to right now, because old Earth is. How does Mass Effect 3 work in this continuity? It doesn't at all. I'm sorry, I don't actually know the acronym TLDR because I'm an idiot. What? Someone help me out with that. And, oh, speaking of which, I'm sorry, someone also mentioned earlier, Raskor asked it, there it is. Why does Zaydenra have to find all this proof about the Reaper? Unfortunately, Permeus actually answered the question pretty honestly. Imagine if in real life someone shows up. Oh, too long didn't read. Gotcha. Shrug. Imagine if someone showed up in real life Earth and was like, hey, by the way, you know, the Reapers are coming and all this horrible stuff's going to happen. Do you think anyone would actually believe them without some kind of concrete proof? It doesn't matter that they're right. It doesn't matter that they know exactly what they're talking about and are fully aware of the consequences and the happen. No. What matters is that that's not how that works. People aren't just going to believe them. So that's why Mass Effect 1 kind of had to happen the way it does, and why most of her mission was proving the Reaper threat and then bringing the firepower of the now, eyes slightly open individuals to bring down Sovereign. Zaydenra is fully aware of her existence and presence within the Bastion. As I mentioned before, no Echo, especially an agent who is put into a new form body, etc. For them, no time. There's no change. Like, imagine if you right now were to put yourself in a newborn baby, you would be fully aware of everything that happened immediately prior to that as a full-grown adult or whatever for the last 300 years you've been around, and for all the time previous to that, and so forth and so on. And instead, and obviously you'd still be in the baby of a child, but your mind and personality are still fully your own. So, yes, she is fully aware of who and what she is. And as I mentioned Saturday, she is actually not the only Bastion member assigned to the Dark Energy Galaxy, because it's an entire galaxy. Most places that have a agent of the Bastion assigned to them are regional, or continental, or planetary, or something like that. Very, very, very rarely is an entire galaxy considered something that requires a member of the Bastions, which is why there are multiple here. So, I need to check something real quick, make sure this is on. Yeah, that's okay, we're good there. Yeah, okay. That's just refreshing myself because I had some problems yesterday. Okay, we're still live, which is a good thing. We've turned the difficulty down for this, by the way. The Bastion does not have anything to do with anybody's Mass Effect except for my own. So, and everything should be cranked. No film grain, because that just bugs my eyes.
Welcome to Alliance Military Database. Classified information requested.
I do actually like this method, this approach, I guess, of character creation, the whole computer thing. And I really enjoyed that aspect of it. The only thing I don't like about it is your actual customization options are extremely limited. At least as far as what I tend to enjoy, excuse me. There's me.
Well, what about Shepard? She's a spacer, lived aboard starships most of her life.
Military service runs in the family. Both her parents were in the Navy.
She proved herself during the Blitz, held off enemy forces on the ground until reinforcements arrived.
She's the only reason Elysium is still standing.
We can't question her courage.
Humanity needs a hero, and Shepard's the best we've got.
I'll make the call.
In the year 2148, explorers on Mars discovered the remains of an ancient spacefaring civilization. In the decades that followed, these mysterious artifacts revealed startling new technologies, enabling travel to the furthest stars. The basis for this incredible technology was a force that controlled the very fabric of space and time. They called it the greatest discovery in human history. The civilizations of the galaxy call it.
Arcturus Prime relays in range. Initiating transmission sequence.
Commander?
We are connected. Calculating transit mass and destination.
They found
Relay is hot.
they found a bunch of stuff on Mars, Last Exile, but the main important part was they found pieces of the Prothean civilization there.
The board is green. Approach run has begun. Hitting the relay in 3, 2, 1.
As I mentioned yesterday,
Check. Navigation. Check.
one of the things I like about this is, very first time I played this game on the PC, I actually thought this was a pre-rendered cutscene. It wasn't until the dialogue wheel showed up in a moment here that I actually realized this was playable.
Captain will be pleased.
So,
I hate that guy.
Nihilus gave you a compliment, so you hate him.
You remember to zip up your jumpsuit on the way out of the bathroom? That's good. I just jumped us halfway across the galaxy and hit a target the size of a pinhead, so that's incredible. Besides, Spectres are trouble. I don't like having them on board. Call me paranoid.
You're paranoid. The Council helped fund this project. They have a right to send someone to keep an eye on their investment.
Yeah, that is the official story. But only an idiot believes the official story.
That's enough. Your soldiers act like it.
Sorry, Commander.
Joker, status report.
Just cleared the mass relay, Captain. Stealth systems engaged. Everything looks solid.
Good. Find a comm buoy and link us into the network. I want mission reports relayed back to Alliance brass before we reach Eden Prime.
Aye, aye, Captain. Better brace yourself, sir. I think Nihilus is headed your way.
He's already here, Lieutenant. Tell Commander Shepard to meet me in the comm room for a debriefing.
You get that, Commander?
I'm on my way.
Is it me or does the Captain always sound a little pissed off?
Only when he's talking to you, Joker.
so real quick, Raskor asked what would have happened if Zaydenra had not been chosen as a Spectre. Obviously, Spectre being chosen for that would be incredibly beneficial for her actually mission here due to the fact... Why is this on? Everyone talking about motion blur made me wonder why that was on. Or wonder if it was on, excuse me, which it should not be. Ah, it's so much better. But because the Spectre status and everything that it applies to would basically give her carte blanche in order to actually go and do most of what she needed to do in order to get the proof, in order to deal with this friggin' problem. However, even if she hadn't, that would have not stopped her. She would have just had a much harder time convincing certain people and trying to make her way through places she probably did not actually have access to go to. However, if you ask me, like, if as a writer, if I had to write an alternate version of Mass Effect where Zaydenra Shepard never actually became a Spectre, it probably would have ended with her mission in a failure, and other certain... the Imperial military basically having to walk in and deal with this entire problem, and the Mass Effect galaxy basically ceasing to exist as a unique entity for all intents and purposes. And yes, this is... Zaydenra's chosen color is yellow. So she actually wears this nice yellow jumpsuit thing here that doesn't actually look that good at all. I actually much prefer the Mass Effect 2 yellow armor I've got, which is actually primarily black with yellow highlights, but whatever. Oh, Giacomo, sorry. I have actually been doing better. I'm very tired, obviously. Very worn out. I've been doing a lot of work lately. I'm trying to chill here. Enjoy Mass Effect with you guys. But I'm doing better. New house. New apartment.
Congratulations, Commander. Looks like we had a smooth run. You heading down to see the captain?
Sounds like you don't trust Arturian guest.
Sorry, Commander. Just having a chat with Adams down at engineering. I didn't mean to cause any trouble. But you have to admit, something's odd about this mission. The whole crew feels it.
I'll see if I can get some answers when I see him.
Good luck, Commander.
Okay, real quick. Let's check the audio. Yeah, it's cranked. I guess I can turn it up a little bit higher, but this is probably as high as I'm willing to go, unless you guys really don't want to hear me, which is okay. If you just want me to stay quiet, I'm okay with that. But we'll turn that up there to the 50 mark. One thing, I know I talked about this yesterday, so forgive me for the repetition, but one thing I do like about Mass Effect is Mass Effect did the choice options in dialogue correctly. Other games, Alpha Protocol is a big example, Dragon Age 2 is a huge example, would have dialogue options where you're trying to choose something and you picked it, and what they say is not what you cared about or what you wanted them to say or whatever. So, you know, it would be irritating, and you'd have to reload the... This happened in Tor, too. That's another really good example. Mass Effect, Mass Effect 1 and 2, I never had that problem in. I pick an option, and it's exactly the kind of tone and the kind of message I want to talk about. I'll talk a little bit more about that later, because... Unless you guys want me to talk about it now, I got tons of time to talk here. Because we got a nice, easy, simple mission to go through here.
What do you think, Commander? We won't be staying on Eden Prime too long, will we? I'm itching for some real action.
I sincerely hope you're kidding, Corporal. Your real action usually ends with me patching up crew members in the infirmary.
You need to calm down, Corporal. A good soldier stays cool even under fire.
Sorry, Commander, but this waiting's killing me. I've never been on a mission like this before, not one with a Spectre on board.
Just treat this like every other assignment you've had and everything will work out.
Easy for you to say. You proved yourself in the Blitz. Everybody knows what you can do. This is my big chance. I need to show the brass what I can do.
You're young, Corporal. You have a long career ahead of you. Don't do something stupid to mess it up.
Don't worry, ma'am. I'm not gonna screw this up.
The captain's waiting for me.
Goodbye, Commander.
By the way, for those of you who are not aware, my patrons... Oops. My patrons decided who I will be role-playing as. I will be role-playing as Zaydenra, obviously. But I will be picking every dialogue option as if she was the one actually picking it, rather than going for full Paragon, going for full Renegade, or, you know, anything of a similar type. So, Thrill Elemental, the game is at 50%, and I am at 100%. Because that's how it works. Here, look, I'll go quiet. The Mass Effect might be kind of quiet, but I got nothing. So I'm always leery of turning the game sound up because the way this streams the sound is really strange. It'll basically do it like usually 5%. Like if I'm streaming a NES game, I have to turn it down to 5%. Otherwise, it's way too loud for everything else. So let's go ahead and let's go ahead and deal with our good friend Breaks the Stream. Yeah, actually, I don't feel like talking with him. I'm out. Peace.
Commander Shepard, I was hoping you'd get here first. It will give us a chance to talk.
I know I, again, already said this, but I like to really think about my options with regards to how my characters really would respond to a situation, and I tend to put a lot of thought into even options like this. Again, I'll be talking about this topic a little bit more in a minute, but for example, this seems like a really simple thing. Talk? Or, where's Captain Anderson? And yet, for someone who is a Denra, who is primarily a military individual, who very much understands and respects the chain of command, and thinks very highly of her captain and has a great deal of respect for him, her first thought would not be, what does Nihilus want with me? It would be, where is my captain? So...
The captain said he'd meet me here.
He's on his way. I'm interested in this world we're going to. Eden Prime. I've heard it's quite beautiful.
They say it's a paradise.
Yes, a paradise. Serene, tranquil, safe. Eden Prime has become something of a symbol for your people, hasn't it? Proof that humanity can not only establish colonies across the galaxy, but also protect them. But how safe is it really?
If you've got something to say, just say it.
Your people are still newcomers, Shepard. The galaxy can be a very dangerous place. Is the Alliance truly ready for this?
I think it's about time we told the Commander what's really going on.
This mission is far more than a simple shakedown run.
Is someone gonna fill me in, Captain?
We're making a covert pickup on Eden Prime. That's why we needed the stealth systems operational.
There must be a reason you didn't tell me about this, sir?
This comes down from the top, Commander. Information strictly on a need-to-know basis. A research team on Eden Prime unearthed some kind of beacon during an excavation. It was Prothean.
What else can you tell me?
This is big, Shepard. The last time humanity made a discovery like this, it jumped our technology forward 200 years. But Eden Prime doesn't have the facilities to handle something like this. We need to bring the beacon back to the Citadel for proper study.
Obviously, this goes beyond mere human interests, Commander. This discovery could affect every species in Council space.
It never hurts to have a few extra hands on board.
The beacon's not the only reason I'm here, Shepard.
Nihilus wants to see you in action, Commander. He's here to evaluate you.
What's going on, Captain?
The Alliance has been pushing for this for a long time. Humanity wants a larger role in shaping interstellar policy. We want more say with the Citadel Council. The Spectres represent the Council's power and authority. If they accept a human into their ranks, it shows how far the Alliance has come.
You held off an enemy assault during the Blitz single-handed. You showed not only courage, but also incredible skill. That's why I put your name forward as a candidate for the Spectres.
Why would a Turian want a human in the Spectres?
Not all Turians resent humanity. Some of us see the potential of your species. We see what you have to offer to the rest of the galaxy, and to the Spectres. We are an elite group. It's rare to find an individual with the skills we seek. I don't care that you're human, Shepard. I only care that you can do the job.
Of course it's not a coincidence, Tegrin. And again, she's going to defer to her captain.
I assume this is good for the Alliance.
Earth needs this, Shepard. We're counting on you.
I need to see your skills for myself, Commander. Eden Prime will be the first of several missions together.
You'll be in charge of the ground team. Secure the beacon and get it onto the ship ASAP. Nihilus will accompany you to observe the mission.
Yeah, it's nobody actually knows the exact number of how many Spectres there are other than the Council, but the point is we, the players, do not actually know the exact number because they, the writers, never actually made an exact number of how many. There's several, and that's about all we know. Yeah.
Just give the word, Captain.
We should be getting close to Eden.
Captain, we got a problem.
What's wrong, Joker?
Transmission from Eden Prime, sir. You better see this.
Bring it up on screen.
Get down!
We are under attack, taking heavy casualties. I repeat, heavy casualties. We can't get evac. They came out of nowhere. We need...
Everything cuts out after that. No comm traffic at all. Just goes dead. There's nothing.
Reverse and hold at 38.5. Status report.
17 minutes out, Captain. No other Alliance ships in the area.
Take us in, Joker. Fast and quiet. This mission just got a lot more complicated.
A small strike team can move quickly, without drawing attention. It's our best chance to secure the beacon.
Grab your gear and meet us in the cargo hold. Tell Alenko and Jenkins to suit up, Commander. You're going in.
Of course. You all know what that is. No, Sean, I did not model Zaydenra after after my sis. I modeled her after Andrea.
Somebody was doing some serious digging here, Captain.
Your team's the muscle in this operation, Commander. Go in heavy and head straight for the dig site.
What about survivors, Captain?
Helping survivors is a secondary objective. The beacon's your top priority.
Approaching drop point 1.
Nihilus, you're coming with us?
I move faster on my own.
Nihilus will scout out ahead. He'll feed you status reports throughout the mission. Otherwise, I want radio silence.
We've got his back, Captain.
The mission's yours now, Shepard. Good luck!
We are approaching drop point 2.
So I'll be talking about this a little bit more later, but hands up, how many people actually really like the appearance of the Normandy? Or just like the Normandy in general?
This place got hit hard, Commander. Hostiles everywhere. Keep your guard up.
Okay, let me figure out my weapons. No, no. No. That's the one I like. Okay, so... No. Okay. Was it E? No. Q. It was Q. There we go. God, that's just... Alright, but no, we're going into this hot. I always love how the sprint in this only actually works in combat. Well, of course, it makes sense, you know, it's the charge. But it only works under certain circumstances. It's actually really weird. So, how many of you out there know you can bug this scene out and make Jenkins live? There's actually two ways to do it. One of them basically soft locks the game, and the other one just makes a trigger happen where he dies anyways. Take all. Gotta get that metagel. Always need more metagel. Oh yeah, infinite ammo, by the way. Yeah. Okay. So, okay. Confession time. How many people, the very first time you played this, very first time, when you were here, were like, okay, go this way, and then weren't 100% sure where to go and couldn't figure out how to open the map? It's M, by the way. Yeah. I was just reminded because it's always my first inclination to go this way instead of this way, which is actually where you're supposed to go, so... At least I think it is. Shoot. Am I actually lost? Shoot, I am actually lost! No, I got turned around, damn it. Okay, I want to go this way. Oh my god. I swear I've played this game before. There it is. I can always miss this frickin' path. Alright, let's see if we can get Jenkins alive. I've only done this trick like once, and it kind of crashed the game. 6, I believe. There we go. Alright, here we go. And... right around like this. Ah, damn it. I don't think I got it. Yeah, I didn't get it, because he's where he should be in the cutscene.
Rip right through his shields. We're at a chance.
Come on.
Sometimes Marines die. The rest of us just have to carry on. We still have to find that beacon.
Aye, aye, man.
So, one thing I find this amusing... Yeah, you kind of bug the game out, though, Vor, if you do that. One thing I find amusing, BioWare has pulled this trick twice, actually. Once in Dragon Age Awakenings and once here, where they give you a temporary party member. Actually, I guess they did it in Dragon Age Origins, too, but whatever. They give you a temporary party member, and they give you every indication, especially from a gameplay perspective, that this is someone who's actually going to be a member of your party. I didn't show you, but if I, like, pulled up the squad, which is one of these buttons, there we go. He was actually here, along with Kaiden and all that, and there was every indication that, you know, good Jenkins there was actually going to live, except for his name. the name was like the only tip-off. So, yeah, basically, he, and then they do it again with Nihilus, because there's this whole implication that Nihilus is actually going to join your squad, especially since it was well advertised before Mass Effect came out that there was going to be a Turian join the party, or among the other aliens, so... Oh wow, I actually missed that. There it is.
I've got some burned out buildings here, Shepard. A lot of bodies. I'm gonna check it out. I'll try to catch up with you at the dig site.
Yes, it is, Yachiman. Still my favorite gun. Well, I guess it's actually my second favorite gun, but it's my most used gun. My favorite gun, we'll go and pull out in a second here, should be... Oh... Apparently the other way. There it is. This would be actually my favorite gun. The, anti-materials rifle. Or whatever they actually call it. Damn it, there's no more enemies. Okay, so let's just go this way. Yeah, I'm a soldier. You know, I'm right here. I could just help her. Oh, there we go. I was gonna say. Go for the headshot. There we go. Sorry, I really like the anti-materials. I'm not actually even sure this is the anti-materials, because it's in this one or in 2 that you get it. But what can I say? I do enjoy sniper rifles. Before I talk to her real quick, I got a question. How many of you out there don't like Ashley just because of Mass Effect 3? Just curious. And while people are answering that, so... Shut up, Arm Devil. I actually do like Ashley a little bit, but I think I'll probably... It is in Mass Effect 2. Okay, I figured. Whatever. I played Mass Effect 2 more than 1. What can I say? Hey, Fritz. What is up? Always nice to see new people here. I think the reason I kind of got along with Ashley... I mentioned this during my rumination. I actually know quite a few military people in real life. In the Navy primarily, but also in the Army, and a couple people who I knew in the Marines. And the way that the actress played Ashley was very military. And it's I don't know how else to describe that. I've never found a way. It's not like they're overbearing, they're not rude, they're not coarse. They're this weird blend of like everything. And I've noticed that most people don't get along with military individuals like that. And I've always had a really good... I actually get along with that kind of person pretty well, all things considered. Maybe it's just because of my experience. But Ashley does very much feel like a career soldier to me. Not a career officer. Huge difference. Career soldier. Kaiden, by contrast... I hate to admit this because it's going to make me sound super evil, but when the choice came, when I was crafting my save game to prep for Mass Effect 2, I actually deliberately let Kaiden die because I liked him less. That was my reasoning. That was my whole reasoning. Because she was just incredibly... Excuse me, he was just incredibly dull to me, and I just did not care for his character. So, that being said, for anybody who's curious, all of the major choices in this run, I may let you guys vote how to do them if it's something that Zayden would not feel very strong about. For example... you don't get to choose the Rachni Queen. I know exactly what she'd do about that. That's actually very relevant to her character. But when it comes to, for example, Kaiden and Ashley, she doesn't give a damn, so I'll let you guys decide that one. So, we'll see.
Gunnery Chief Ashley Williams of the 212. You the one in charge here, ma'am?
Give me a status report, Williams.
Oh, man. We were patrolling the perimeter when the attack hit. We tried to get off a distress call, but they cut off our communications. I've been fighting for my life ever since.
Where's the rest of your squad?
We tried to double back to the beacon, but we walked into an ambush. I don't think any of the others... I think I'm the only one left.
This isn't your fault, Williams. You couldn't have done anything to save them.
Yes, ma'am. We held our position as long as we could, until the Geth overwhelmed us.
The Geth haven't been seen outside the Veil in nearly 200 years. Why are they here now?
They must have come for the beacon. The dig site is close, just over that rise. It might still be there.
Before I have her join us, I don't want to talk about something really quick. Let's talk about good game design. I have a fairly large amount of experience and study in game design, both from a storytelling perspective and from a gameplay perspective, right? This whole mission is an excellent example of good game design, but mostly good storytelling design. This whole section obviously sets up the plot and what's going to be happening, and having these two women stare at each other blindly for however long I talk here. But no, seriously though, it really is a good setup for... It starts everything off with a bang, which is how you kind of want to start a plot that has the space opera epic level like Mass Effect does. However, that's not what I'm talking about. Think about all the things we've seen in the cutscenes that have been happening so far. The idea that there are... that most of the weapons are energy-based. Excuse me, or rather, the Geth use energy-based weapons. The idea that there are such a thing as shields, which is actually kind of an important thing within the setting. Establishing the way that works. Establishing the way that the Geth spread their huskification. There's a lot of little tidbits through this thing that you probably wouldn't even notice because you're not actually supposed to. You're just supposed to register it and be like, oh, okay. And as you proceed through, you learn a fairly large amount about the actual setting of this of Mass Effect, of the Dark Energy Galaxy, just from this one mission. It's a really well done thing, I think. And they occasionally drop little lines here and there during the dialogues, which also help flesh out the background, history, story, etc. So
we could use your help, Williams.
Aye, aye, ma'am. It's time for payback.
No more talking.
Move out.
Bricks. Shepard. Yeah, sure, whatever. I gotta be honest, I have no interest in... okay, let me go ahead and say one thing I don't like about Mass Effect 1. Your squad mates are 100% useless in Mass Effect 1. So I actually usually don't even equip them at all. Don't even bother.
The beacon's at the far end of this trench.
Okay, so hang on. Up. Yeah, exactly, Tigran. The Geth haven't been outside the... He even name drops the Veil. We don't even find out what the Veil is until forever later. But the exact wording was, the Geth have not been seen outside the Veil in over 200 years. With that, we learn a lot about the Geth. We learn a lot about how the galaxy views these beings, whoever and whatever they are. We also learn a lot about, or we don't learn a lot, but we get an inclination of how the galaxy is divided up, what the Veil means, etc. So, all right, hang on, gotta. Okay, I feel like there's less enemies on lower difficulty or something. I was gonna say there should be several here. Love this gun. I'm too close. Fine, we'll just shoot them. By the way, I do like the ammo system in Mass Effect 1 more. By a huge margin, actually. But, I do overall enjoy the combat a little bit more in 2. Most of that is related to the way they improved the AI and made it just a little bit more actiony. But I really wish they'd kept the non-reloads, especially since the in-lore explanation for the new reload system is actually not only dumb, well, it's not dumb, it's actively stupid. They even call themselves out in lore. There's a conversation about how stupid it is to have this new ammo system.
This is the dig site. The beacon was right here. It must have been moved.
By who? Our side or the Geth?
Hard to say. Maybe we'll know more after we check out the research camp.
Let's get moving. Williams, where's the camp?
It's just on the top of this ridge, up the ramps.
Change of plans, Shepard. There's a small spaceport up ahead. I want to check it out. I'll wait for you there.
Actually, real quick. I don't even know what I have on this thing. Okay, so that's... kinetic coil, okay. Wait, this is the wrong gun. Hang on. Yeah, I've got 2 stabilizers and sledgehammer on the assault rifle. And... okay, I don't actually have the right weapon, it looks like. Where's my sniper rifle? Whatever. What do we got here? How do I not have... Whatever. I apparently don't have the, sniper rifle I should. No, Sonic Doctor. I'll actually talk about that more when we get to the Rex section later.
Good place for an ambush. Keep your guard up.
I guess that's true, Tegrin.
Oh God, they're still alive.
What did the Geth do to them?
Let's just go ahead and test this theory. Hi. Hi. Oh, you're not an enemy. Hi. Hey, what's up? How you doing? Hi. Wow. I actually remember setting up for that fight back here. Jeez. Okay, whatever.
That door. It's closed. Security lock's engaged.
I actually like this little minigame. Quite a lot, actually.
Humans, thank the Maker.
Hurry, close the door before they come back.
I'm going to answer a couple questions here real quick. Yeah, so speaking as someone who's played Alpha Protocol, one of the things that actually irritated me about that game, in addition to its unclear dialogue choices, is it would be like, hey, you have to make a choice. Too late automatic choice, and that would just kind of be irritating on more occasion than one, especially since there is a lot of real life, pragmatic reasons that having this, where I could walk out, go to the bathroom, get dinner, eat, run a marathon and come back and she'd still be staring at them, is actually rather convenient from a pragmatic real life perspective. However, the other reason, as I mentioned yesterday, that I really like this is it gives me plenty of time to think about my options, especially when I'm really care about the results, which I guess I'll go ahead and talk about now, if anyone does not mind me doing that. But first I'll answer some questions. So what do I think about the husks? The husks are an appropriate blend of creepy and horrifying, in addition to being the kind of thing that actually makes a lot of sense from a mechanical mind. One of the reasons that most people probably automatically assumed that the husks were Geth things and not Reaper is because it makes perfect sense from a perspective that does not equate ethics or morality into the equation. In other words, why would we waste this perfectly good matter when we have the ability to do something about it? So it said something about how the Geth/Reapers both functioned, in addition to being a suitable horror element without actually going all the way into full-born gore, which I always like not going into gore. Mass Effect series has actually been very gore-free. And I like that. I mean, for God's sakes, even in 3, a guy shoots himself in the head. I don't know if you know what that would actually look like, but it would be quite gory. So, Mr. KJ asks, did I notice how the level design improved after Jade Empire and KOTOR? Actually, yes, I did. I imagine that has to do with the few other individuals that they hired on, basically for what would become the Tor project. I could be wrong, I'm not sure, but yeah, they have a lot better level design later on. Not counting Dragon Age 2, but there's actually a reason for that, which I'm not going to go into here, because this is Mass Effect. Any more questions here? So, let's talk about one other thing that I like about the Mass Effect series, and indeed games like this in general. Now, I'm probably... How do I put this? I'm probably not the only person who thinks like this, but I don't know, I may be kind of out in the blue here. I'm one of those people who likes it when I don't get rewarded for doing things I enjoy doing or doing the right thing or whatever, because that's not how it works in real life. I could actually give you an example from today in real life about that, where I was given too much money from a cashier, and so I had to turn around and go back in order to return it. And there was no reward for that. There was no benefit from that. My karma meter didn't go up. I didn't gain Paragon points for doing that. It was just the right thing to do. That's why I did it. And I like doing that in games too. Dragon Age Origins is another excellent example of that, by the way. So, that being said, one of the weird things, and again, I talked about this yesterday, forgive me for the repetition, but one of the things that Mass Effect and Dragon Age Origins both pulled off basically perfectly was the feeling that your choices mattered, and I feel like that's actually become too much of a catchphrase, of a slogan, of a cliche that people are just misusing without actually realizing what it means. Because the point here is, in Mass Effect 1, I think there's a grand total of 14 variables that are actually saved and actually are major decision flags that change the events that happen throughout the game and then are carried forward into Mass Effect 2. I could be wrong. There might be more than that. There might actually be less than that. But that being said, of those choices, that's not what I'm talking about. That's not choices matter. Choices matter is when the individual dialogue choices that I make as I'm going through actually feel like I am impacting and changing the way this world is working. When I talk to someone, I'm going to use the example I used yesterday, Mass Effect 2, there's the Asari woman who is upset about her daughter and is basically taking out her prejudice and her rage against the humans who need medical supplies. Or was that Mass Effect 1? I don't actually remember, but it was one of them. And you can approach that woman and basically, through your dialogue options, talk to her and convince her of everything I just said and that she should probably not go down this path, and she will actually say, well, you know, you're absolutely right. And she'll break down crying. Voice acting really helps. Really helps. Good voice acting is the difference between, you know, the words on the screen can only do so much. The actor selling the role and making me feel like I have actually made an impact or a difference on you and your mentality and what you're thinking and how you're thinking it. That really sells me on choices matter, because I feel like what I just picked on this dialogue wheel that's in here right now actually changed some tiny tidbit of the way this story is progressing. It's one of the reasons I feel so many people became so attached to my shepherd. You know, the concept of my shepherd. This is my shepherd. This is my shepherd. Well, this is my shepherd. Because as you're going through the game, especially Jennifer Hale, but, you know, Mark Meer as well, these people, they really put their all into acting, so it really sounds like your character is changing and growing and affecting the world around them as they're doing it. And that's the whole choices matter thing. So for me, I don't need to be rewarded for doing a good deed. Again, the good deed itself is its own reward and blah, blah, blah. But these games actually do reward me for doing that kind of a thing, because I get a voice actor who really pushes themselves in order to give a good performance and give an honest-to-God thank you. And they feel the way they acted is so well done that I actually feel like that character is thankful. And that is way more reward than anything I actually need for that. And that's one of the things I love about this series. Love? I don't know. Whatever. You get my point. So.
Don't worry. We'll protect you.
Thank you. I think we'll be okay now. It looks like everyone's gone.
You're Dr. Warren, the one in charge of the excavation. Do you know what happened to the beacon?
It was moved to the spaceport this morning. Manuel and I stayed behind to help pack up the camp. When the attack came, the Marines held them off long enough for us to hide. They gave their lives to save us.
No one is saved.
The age of humanity is ended. Soon, only ruin and corpses will remain.
What's wrong with your assistant?
Manuel has a brilliant mind, but he's always been a bit unstable. Genius and madness are two sides of the same coin.
Is it madness to see the future? To see the destruction rushing towards us? To understand there is no escape? No hope? No. I am not mad. I'm the only sane one left.
I gave him an extra dose of his meds after the attack.
Say goodnight, Manuel.
You cannot silence the truth. My voice must be heard.
Oh my god! What did you do?
That might have been a little extreme, Commander.
That's for his own
Can't
sake.
just go around whacking people in the head.
It was only a matter of time till he did something crazy and dangerous.
I suppose you're right. By the time he wakes up, the meds will have kicked in.
Williams, take us to the spaceport.
Good luck, Commander.
That scene right there should be like... Right? That should be like... you have to watch that scene and explain why that is exactly how Renegade does not equal evil and Paragon does not equal good. I've talked about this before, but I really like the fact that I can choose a Renegade option for a completely good reason. And then indeed, after that, I actually picked a Paragon option, if you're paying attention, to explain why I did that. And again, yeah, the voice acting in that whole thing was pretty much perfect and spot on. All things considered, that was pretty much exactly the kind of response that Zaydenra would have given to that. Here. Punk! Okay. Don't worry, it was for his own good. You know, you get where I'm going with that, so... Anywho, with regard to X-Bob's question, the reason that all the Reapers looked so similar in 3 is because of laziness in artistic design. Seriously. They were just lazy, and they were meeting a deadline, so they didn't actually model unique Reapers, because that takes time and money. So, yeah. I actually have to go to the bathroom really quick. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. Sorry about that, guys. Where were we? We were shooting people. Right.
So, there you are.
Hello. We have an intruder, everyone. We should shoot her really quick. With peace and love!
Here, give that to Uncle Magus.
Oh, thank you, Jaina. I very much appreciate the...
Strawberry yogurt.
Yogurt. Here you go. Yogurt.
Saren.
Hi. Hi, Jaina.
This isn't your mission, Saren. What are you doing here?
The Council thought you could use some help on this one.
I wasn't expecting to find the Geth here. The situation's bad.
Don't worry. I've got it under control.
Dun dun dun! Oh yeah, I should actually set up my quick slots if I can remember how to do that real quick. Yeah. No, I want the skill builder.
The little kid is mine, Asher.
Hang on.
Unless you're referring to me, in which case... Huh?
It's a ship. Look at the size of it.
Actually, okay, I don't remember how to set up my quick slots. God, I haven't played this in so long.
Isn't it Mass Effect 1?
This is Mass Effect 1.
Mm.
I have two sure, here. Here. Here you go, Kaiden. Hey, Ashley. I don't care about either. Yes, Jaina? Do you have my phone? May I have my phone? I have my phone back, Jaina. No, okay. Apparently I don't get my phone back, guys.
And I want to eat.
She's like, she want
Why
you.
is the step stool in my room?
Because I didn't expect you to be back until tomorrow. We've already been over this.
No, you said I didn't...
Okay, so I thought about making a joke when I was playing Ogre Battle earlier, except for I lost connection, about how they can actually show female models in Ogre Battle, but they can't in Assassin's Creed 4. Hello again. Gina, go to Mama. Get some food, kiddo. Go take that to Mama. And that, and that. Okay? No, don't eat. Bye, Jaina. Okay. Sorry about that. Alright. So, how the hell do I set up my hotkeys? I actually don't remember how to do this. There we go. I remember now. No, I want my abilities. Are you coming back? Okay. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but she came back to the door and she's calling for me through the door. And now she's attacking the door and now she's through the door. Oh, never mind. Hi! Give me a hug. Give me a hug. Hi, Jaina. Come here.
Hey, she's made improvements. It's not maggot anymore. It's MAGA.
Alright. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go stop the Geth from destroying this colony, okay? And by which I mean we're actually gonna fail at doing that.
Because we're holding a baby.
Because we're holding a baby. Let's go. Alright. Now wait, should we go to the right?
No, say left.
Should we go left?
Jaina, can you say left?
Okay, to the left. Die! Oh, that's loot. Okay. Oh god, there's enemies to the right. Jaina, you've killed us all. You've killed us all. Oh my god, what's scraping armor?
The yogurt.
Okay.
It helps if you don't shoot the rock.
But look! Scar markage! Right.
Does it fade away?
So I've been hitting R on habit. I don't know if you guys are seeing this.
So you're hitting R from Wildstar?
Well, to reload, actually.
Oh.
Because... okay. Dana, you are really squirgling in here. Alright, let's do this, guys. Let's kill the Geth. Ready to kill the Geth. Let's do this. This is a pretty sky. Oh.
Sibri.
I like Simon Pegg.
This is the other one she sent me today.
Nice. Nihilus, oh my god! He's dead, Jaina. He's dead.
Sorian,
what do we do?
You know him?
He's a Spectre. He was with us on the norm.
Something's moving over behind those crates.
Wait! Don't shoot! I'm one of you! I'm human!
I'm one of you, I'm a human.
You coward.
Like I care, is what that face says.
Yeah, seriously.
Me? But I'm just a dock worker. I don't even have a weapon. My name's Powell. I saw what happened to the Turian.
It's a human.
The other one shot him.
Apparently, Jaina is cuter than a butterfly sneezing.
Saying Nihilus was murdered by a Turian?
The other one got here first. He was when your friend showed up.
I don't know what Weiss means.
I think they knew each other.
He's got weird eyes. I don't like him.
It's okay. We'll kill him. I'm kidding.
Fight in the back. Just lucky he didn't see me behind the crates.
Okay, I know you know how to do this. Come on, put your foot down, put your foot down. Now dance. Can you do dance? Can you dance? I know it's hard. There you go. There you go. Whoa, careful there. Whoa! No, you definitely don't get that. I know it's shiny. You don't get that. You don't get anything, you're doomed.
The Prothean beacon was
Oh, okay. Down you go.
It's over on the other platform. Probably where that guy Saren.
You are now down.
He hopped on the cargo train right
You want some
after
milk?
he killed your friend. I knew that beacon
You
was
can't have the money. She wants the money. She's not even 2 years old. She's already after the money.
The attack.
Yes, that is a chomp.
If I'd been behind the crates, I'd be dead too.
How come you're the only one who survived? Why didn't anyone else try to hide behind the crates?
They never had a chance.
Bye, Jaina.
I was already behind
No,
the
go to
crates when
Mama.
the attack started. Wait a minute. You were hiding behind the crates before the attack?
Of course, Ed.
Nope. Yeah, put the phone down.
Sometimes I need a nap to get through my shift.
Put the phone down.
I sneak off
Now you
behind
can
the
have
crates
it.
to grab 40 winks where the supervisor can't find me.
You survived because you're
You want some
lazy?
chicken?
You ditch work,
No,
then you come
no
back
chicken.
here and do nothing while
Back
you
up to sit with Uncle Magus.
She said down, but she only did it to get to the money.
Run out there and die?
To get to the milk.
No, to the money.
I
That I
couldn't
moved.
save them. Nobody could.
Alright, we'll let you go.
Thought you were gonna kill him.
I changed my mind because I don't think it's actually an option.
Take the cargo
Does she
train.
have
That's where the
scars on
other
her
Turian
face?
went.
Could be. I did design her.
I can't stay here. I need to get away from all this.
It's the sword.
Jaina, leave that alone. Jaina, hey. No.
You know, I actually never use my shotgun. Let's use the shotgun.
Well, that works.
Wow.
Judo friendly because it moves.
It was moving!
Move, friendly.
I will not do the tutorial! I refuse to do the tutorial! Yeah, by the way, so you notice how he's like actually invincible here? This is how you script a tutorial. Or rather, how you should script a tutorial. This guy is literally invincible, look at this.
Is he literally just gonna follow you until you do the tutorial?
Yeah. What is it? Throw? Lift? Yeah, sure. Whatever, do it.
Jaina. Leave the straw in the cup. Gonna take a bath?
Oh, apparently I need to do biotic throw. Excuse me. Hang on. That would be this one. There. Thank you. Tutorial.
How many weapons do you have on you?
Pistol, shotgun, assault rifle, sniper rifle. This is actually my favorite gun. Oh, damn it. Okay, fine.
Was that one of those invincible guys?
Yep. Plunk. Shield is gone. Plunk. Oh, damn. Too quick. I actually really like this sniper rifle. Yeah, this invincible Geth. Think about what that would do for the war effort. But yeah,
he's invincible until you learn how to throw him.
I am basically kidding there, because that is not how you do a tutorial properly. However, it is worth noting that having a tutorial is a good idea in general, and
Ojenix wants to know.
I'll get that in a second. And actually literally 100% forcing you to engage in a tutorial by such artificial means is one method to do that. It's kind of a cheating method, but at least it's a method. So, power level. Where, of course, you can use the DBZ power levels, which, as we know, got into the multi-millions later on. So, your power level is 2. My power level is 3. As you can see.
This is how that plays out.
Yeah, pretty much. And Jaina's power level is over
50 billion!
Yeah.
Watch this.
Oh my god!
See? Remember, she gives me the straw, which was her weapon
Set
of
the
choice.
charges. Destroy the entire colony.
My brain!
Okay, I now have a zombie baby.
Great.
Oh god. Minecraft baby zombie.
Oh god, no. Whoa. Okay, here, down. Here's the milk. No, you don't. Okay, you can grab that. So I forgot this mission's timed. Now I'm probably gonna be fine because, you know, I'm insanely powerful.
Bye, Uncle Magus.
Bye, little Jaina.
I give you the yogurt.
Yay, the yogurt! I shall eat it, would treasure it, always and always forever. I told you! Did I just kill the guy with a shotgun from this distance? Holy crap! That's hilarious. Whoops, I missed one. So, I've been hesitating to talk about Saren. Saren is one of those villains that went through a rewrite halfway through the story. Initially, he was basically a completely generic, I'm a bad guy villain. You know, a Darth Malik, if you will. Later on, he was rewritten in order to make him into one of the more awesome villains within the Mass Effect series, in my opinion. I'd say actually the second or third, depending how you want to define it, most awesome villain in the Mass Effect series. The reason for the rewrite was basically because of contract issues. Originally, Marina Sirtis' character was actually going to have a much larger role, and that kind of didn't happen for real-life issues, basically, for lack of a better way to put it. So she ended up having a much reduced role, and Saren became the main bad guy. I will release you from your husk. Oh, we're done. Now for Disturbing Imagery 101. Seriously, this is like how you do subliminal crap and really mess with someone. Because this is some really disturbing images if you've ever seen a frame by frame of this.
Normandy, the beacon is secure.
This is amazing. Actual working Prothean technology. Unbelievable.
It wasn't doing anything like that when they dug it up.
Something must have activated it.
Roger, Normandy. Standing by.
Yes, I did, Omni. So here's a question. How would have this turned out if Kaiden and not Shepard had been the one to get the,
No, don't
this?
touch her. It's too dangerous.
Especially if we let Kaiden die.
We identified the ship that touched down on Eden Prime. The Normandy. A human alliance vessel. It was under the command of Captain Anderson. They managed to save the colony.
And the beacon.
One of the humans may have used it.
This human.
Hi, Guido. Unmuted. Is it unmuted?
Yeah.
Hi, Guido. Hi, Sibri. They told me they're watching the stream.
That scene right there is pretty much the best thing I could say about with regards to how Benezia was supposed to go and how Saren was supposed to go. The beacon exploded because it was old.
You had us worried there, Shepard. How are you feeling?
Alright, no complicated answer here. Whoops.
How did I end up here? How long was I out?
About 15 hours. Something happened down there with the beacon, I think.
It's my fault. I must have triggered some kind of security field when I approached it. You had to push me out of the way.
Where's the beacon now? What happened to it?
The beacon exploded. A system overload, maybe. And the blast knocked you cold. Williams and I had to carry you back here to the ship.
What's the damage, Doctor?
Physically, you're fine. But I detected some unusual brain activity. Abnormal beta waves. I also noticed an increase in your rapid eye movement. Signs typically associated with intense dreaming.
I saw... I'm not sure what I saw. Death, destruction... Nothing's really clear.
I better add this to my report. It may... Oh, Captain Anderson.
How's our XO holding up, Doctor?
Well, all the readings look normal. I'd say the commander's going to be fine.
Glad to hear it. Shepard, I need to speak with you. In private.
Aye, Captain. I'll be in the mess if you need me.
Sounds like that beacon hit you pretty hard, Commander. Are you sure you're okay?
I don't like soldiers dying under my command.
Jenkins wasn't your fault. You did a good job, Shepard.
Did we leave Gunnery Chief Williams back on Eden Prime?
I figured we could use a soldier like her. She's been reassigned to the Normandy.
Williams is a good soldier. She deserves it.
Lieutenant Alenko agrees with you. That's why I added her to our crew.
You said you needed to see me in private, Captain?
I won't lie to you, Shepard. Things look bad. Nihilus is dead. The beacon was destroyed and Geth are invading. The Council's going to want answers.
See, Omega knows exactly what made Shepard so awesome. However, I do want to point something out here. A lot of people are talking about Saren. He has a complicated history that's much more developed in the books. Suffice it to say that he and Anderson do have history. To summarize, because there's a lot that was going on, Anderson was applying for Spectre status, because of course he was, because it's frickin' Anderson. And Saren basically called the mission in a certain way and blamed the fault of the mission on Anderson. Now, Saren's an interesting individual. He's not actually a bad guy. He's very pragmatic. He's very ends justifies the means, but he's not as bad in that regard as, oh, I don't know, say the Elusive Man, who is pretty much full tilt ends justify the means. You know, anything I have to do in order to justify the means is required. Saren does have his own ethical and moral code, and he does have a sense of decency and, I'd say, integrity is actually the word I want to use, about him, you know, prior to... The interesting thing about Saren, though, and I want you guys to think about this, really, the only thing that could have been worse than Shepard uniting the people she did and going to stop the Reapers is if Saren and Shepard actually joined forces, at which point nothing in this galaxy would be capable of stopping them.
I didn't do anything wrong, Captain. Hopefully the Council can see that.
I'll stand behind you and your report, Shepard. You're a damned hero in my books. That's not why I'm here. It's Saren, that other Turian. Saren's a Spectre, one of the best, a living legend. But if he's working with the Geth, it means he's gone rogue. A rogue Spectre's trouble. Saren's dangerous, and he hates humans.
Why?
He thinks we're growing too fast, taking over the galaxy. A lot of aliens think that way. Most of them don't do anything about it. But Saren has allied himself with the Geth. I don't know how, I don't know why. I only know it had something to do with that beacon. You were there just before that beacon self-destructed. Did you see anything? Any clue that might tell us what Saren was after?
Just before I lost consciousness, I had some kind of vision.
A vision? A vision of what?
I saw synthetics. Geth, maybe. Slaughtering people. Butchering them.
We need to report this to the Council, Shepard.
What are we gonna tell them? I had a bad dream?
We don't know what information was stored in that beacon. Lost Prothean technology? Blueprints for some ancient weapon of mass destruction? Whatever it was. Saren took it. But I know Saren. I know his reputation is politics. He believes humans are a blight on the galaxy. This attack was an act of war. He has the secrets from the beacon. He has an army of Geth at his command, and he won't stop until he's wiped humanity from the face of the galaxy.
I just want to point out really quick that I actually am of the personal opinion that Saren is not that prejudiced. He is certainly prejudiced. He has the same prejudice most Turians, and let's be honest, most races in general have against humans. Standard racism, humans are newbies. It's actually not even racism, it's actually classism, or elitism in a much more minor format. Basically, the humans are so new and tend to just kind of push their way into situations, and most of the other races don't like that because they're used to having things their way and the way things were right up until humans discovered the Mars artifact, blah, 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 blah. So, I don't actually think Saren is that prejudiced or anti-human, not any more than anyone else is. I think this is actually Anderson who still hasn't let go of his personal history with Saren, and the voice acting really gets it across. Keith Davids is an amazing voice actor. I think the voice acting really gets it across that he is pushed into this situation. He is in a place where he is putting more of the blame on Saren and pushing things that he is afraid of Saren doing, when in fact that's actually not the case. Now, granted, things are actually worse than that, but I just wanted to share my opinion on that.
I'll find some way to take him down.
It's not that easy. He's a Spectre. He can go anywhere, do almost anything. That's why we need the Council on our side.
We prove Saren's gone rogue and the Council will revoke his Spectre status.
I'll contact the Ambassador and see if he can get us an audience with the Council. He'll want to see us as soon as we reach the Citadel. We should be getting close. Head up to the bridge and tell Joker to bring us into dock.
Love the subtlety in the voice acting in this game. It's probably one of the things that really made me enjoy this game so much when it first came out. Especially since this was still an era when good voice acting in video games was still pretty rare. And let's be honest, even up to the modern age, as of right now, really great voice acting in video games is still kind of the uncommon thing. And I know, Pencil, it would be nice if you could walk up to the Council and say, listen, I think there's a threat, and blah, 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 blah. And so you're like, the Reapers are coming, and they're gonna kill us all. It's funny, too, the juxtaposition with that gentleman who had become in close contact to the beacon and saw the future of the death of all the organics. It's funny because we basically have now taken his role, and I find that hilariously amusing because it's the Cassandra truth, for those of you who are not aware of it. Cassandra was from Greek, I want to say, stories, and she was a prophetess, visionary, who could see the future, yet she was cursed that no one would ever believe her visions, even though she was right. So this is one of those things that really speaks to gamers, especially because too often we, as the person playing the game, have a third-person perspective and knowledge and information about the setting, the story, and the plot that most other people, including the character we're actually playing, don't have. We have that third-person perspective to see all this stuff. So it's totally obvious to us that, that the Reapers are coming and it's this horrible war of death and genocide and we need to stop it. To us, that's totally normal. But when you put yourselves in the shoes of the people in the game, it actually does make a lot of sense the way they act and react to Shepard and to Anderson and all that stuff. It also makes sense to me that the only person who immediately believes you is Anderson. And the reason I like that is because it demonstrates just how close your relationship has been with him, with that small, tiny little tidbit of him believing you on something you, the player, already know to be true, but in character is psychotic, crazy, and frankly lunatical. Or lunatical, if you prefer. Anderson, nevertheless, choosing to believe his XO speaks volumes about how close those two became before this game ever began. And I love that. I love that subtlety. Possibly, Tigran. And by possibly, I mean absolutely, definitely. Yeah, let's talk to Caden. What's up, Caden?
Commander, I'm glad to see you're okay. Losing Jenkins was hard on the crew, and I'm glad we didn't lose you too.
Things were pretty rough down there.
Oh, that's right.
You never get used to seeing dead civilians. It doesn't seem right somehow. But at least you stopped Saren from wiping out the whole colony.
Okay. I'm sorry, I actually forgot something. There is one other reason I never really got into Kaiden, and I can explain it very simply. It's hard to be nice to Kaiden, or Caden, whatever the hell his name is, that guy. Even like Zaydinra actually would, without him assuming you're flirting with him and a relationship starting. Because I play FemShep. So usually, I found myself in a situation when I was doing my setup save and I was talking to him all the time, and it reached the point where he actually did the, are you flirting with me dialogue. That's not how he phrased it. He said it better than that. And I was like, oh. Because I didn't even realize it was going that direction until that moment. I was like, okay, no, shut him down hard. And I actually couldn't talk to him from that point until his death. I couldn't actually do any dialogues with him on the ship because all of them led in that direction or just shut him down. We'll talk later. No, the mission failed.
Dead Marines, dead colonists, and in the end, we still didn't get that beacon.
Maybe you're right. Things went bad. Real bad. I still can't believe we lost Jenkins.
Yeah, I wish I could have done something to save him.
I was there. You did everything right. It was just bad luck.
It's been a hell of a shakedown, Cruz. Our first mission ends with one Spectre killing another. The Citadel Council's not gonna be happy about that. Probably use it to lever more concessions out of the Alliance.
Yeah, we're out. Actually, I kind of want this info.
You've got a good grasp of the situation. You a career man?
Yeah, a lot of biotics are. We're not restricted, but we sure don't go undocumented. May as well get a paycheck for it. Besides, my father served. I made him proud when I enlisted. Eventually. But is that why you're here? Because of your family?
Well, see, the funny thing is none of these are actually really correct, but we'll say it's not important now.
We'll talk another time. Make sure you're good to go for this meeting with the ambassador.
Aye, aye, ma'am.
Torin, no. No, it really wouldn't. The problem is you're defining relationship as a long-term, what I would call a real relationship. A soldier would be very inclined to a relationship in that kind of a situation.
Yes, Commander? Is there something you need?
What do you know about Captain Anderson?
I've served with him for a few tours now. He knows when to let things slide and when to crack the whip. The crew knows he's seen pretty much anything they'll ever run into. And he cares about the people under his command.
I should go.
Goodbye, Commander.
Now, there's one thing I really want to do, because one of those 14 flags actually has to do with, believe it or not, Navigator Presley. Basically, if you do things in a certain way, you will actually get a message from him in Mass Effect 2, which I really like. That's all I'm going to say about it. I went the wrong way, didn't I? No, she should be here. Where is she? Oh, that's this. Actually, hang on. Here's a question.
Hey, Commander. Looking for some extra supplies before you head out?
What have you got?
Whatever you want. Armor, weapons, mods. It's not standard Alliance issue, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Well, as long as you don't mind paying for it.
Why should I pay you for my weapons and armor?
My stuff doesn't come from the Alliance. I have to purchase it myself, and it's not cheap. Hell, the licenses alone have set me back more than I'd like. But no licenses, no goods. Without the goods, I'm out of a job.
I like this, by the way, because this is actually a really excellent in-lore explanation of why you have to get licenses in order to unlock certain levels of shops. It also is an excellent gameplay mechanic, because it means that as you're going through, rather than the further you get into the game, you get better shops that sell better stuff, which most older RPGs do. In this case, the shops you have access to everywhere, most especially here, basically just change their inventory on the licenses you have. In similar fashion, because Mass Effect can be done in virtually any order, any of the major missions, it would be very difficult to do the shops get better thing. You could do that. You could actually have the shops be triggered by a thing here, but then it would, in some cases, it would make no real sense. So, long and the short of it is, this is a good way to deal with it, both in lore and in gameplay. Now, I don't think this guy actually has anything I want. Nope, he doesn't. Okay, whatever. And yeah, Ashley's not here. Just exploring the ship, just gonna casually. There's no wrecks, so you know. And you. Or no, not you. Was it you? Oh well. So Codex, right? There's 100 trillion things you can interact with in this game. Rough approximation. And as you do so, you get to unlock stuff in the Codex. Let me go ahead and say that I like the Codex in Mass Effect, because frankly, this is what Final Fantasy XIII should have done. Now, let me explain that. The Codex in Mass Effect, and Mass Effect 2, and the Codex, whatever it's called, in Mass Effect 13, are basically equivalent. Here's talking about every little tiny detail and world building, fleshing out the setting, etc., right? Nothing wrong with that. The difference is Mass Effect likes to weave things that it considers important to the story and the setting into the cutscenes, into the game, so you actually learn more about the world, even if you never read the Codex, whereas in FF13 you will be completely lost as far as the story, the setting, etc., if you don't go into the Codex. So, now, there's one other thing I like about the Codex in Mass Effect, and I'm going to demonstrate it right now.
Roughly 1,200 years ago, the Turians were invited to join the Citadel Council to fulfill the role of galactic peacekeepers. The Turians have the largest fleet in Citadel space, and they make up the single largest portion of the Council's military forces. As their territory and influence has spread, the Turians have come to rely on the Solarians for military intelligence and the Asari for diplomacy. Despite a somewhat colonial attitude towards the rest of the galaxy, the ruling hierarchy understands they would lose more than they would gain if the other two races were ever removed. Turians come from an autocratic society that values discipline and possesses a strong sense of personal and collective honor. There is lingering animosity between Turians and humans over the First Contact War of 2157, which is known as the Relay 314 incident to the Turians. Officially, however, the two species are allies, and they enjoy civil, if cool, diplomatic relations.
So yeah, the addition of the voice actor, who is a good voice actor, and he's actually done a lot of work. You probably recognize his voice from a lot of different games. He's like the guy who does the trailers voice actor. You pretty much hear him all over the place. But yeah, he did Vol'jin in Metal Gear Solid 3, for example. But yeah, he's a good voice actor. He does a really good job of the... See, it's too easy when you're doing a narration like this to sound boring. This guy manages to not actually sound boring as he's reading historical, cultural, societal, etc. facts. That's a rare skill. That's hard to do. Speaking as a voice actor especially, that's hard to do when you're reading stuff like this. Because you don't want to talk like I'm talking right now, naturally, emotive, energetic, etc. But you don't want to be, as their territory and influence has spread, many Turians have come to rely on the Solarians for military... You know, you just drone. That guy does a great job of it, so that really, really fleshes the codex out for me. I freely admit that I tended to go through and just fill out the codex on every playthrough, for the same reason I tend to talk to every NPC on replays of, for example, FF6, Chrono Trigger, etc. FF4, FF7, Baldur's Gate, you name it, basically. I talk to everyone. I always talk to everyone. I love the story. He did do someone in Baldur's Gate. I don't remember who. Someone go look that up. Who did he do in Baldur's Gate? I know he did someone.
I'm glad you're okay, Commander. Losing Jenkins was hard enough.
Oh, right. I'm not command yet. Right. So let me go on record to say that this... Remember how I was talking about they have a great deal of show, don't tell, and explaining setting and lore stuff early on. This stuff right here is a great example of that. Even as you're looking at this, you already understand that that is hard light. Now, you may not know the term, but you know that is a projected field that you can interact with. It's very science fiction-y looking, it's very cool looking, and it actually makes a great deal of sense to have already access to that, to already have a knowledge of that, especially given how much hard light technology and innovations will have more relevance to the setting and the plot later on. So, another excellent way to introduce that. More codex. Gotta get all the codexes. And again, this is something I love. This is just pure on flavor. It's just... This means nothing. All this stuff is repeated. It's just the guys at the thing. But if you watch them, they're just sitting there doing their thing. You know, just typing away. By the way, my first playthrough of Mass Effect 1 was 39 hours, to give you a little bit of an idea on that. I also like this. Now, you're probably like, what? What do you like here, Arshengai? There's no view screen. Now, I know you think that's stupid and you hate me for it, but honestly, in... Mass Effect tends to lean for a much more on the... Okay, let's actually rewind, okay? Science fiction can be categorized with... It's somewhere on the graph, the bar of severity between hard science and soft science. The more soft it is, the more it's just magic. You know, it doesn't have to make sense. It doesn't have to conform to something that could either believably happen or realistically happen. The more hard it is, the exact opposite. You know, there are some science fiction that are full-on 100% hard science. It could, you know, it's science fiction that could actually happen in real life, right? So that being said, Mass Effect in general is actually pretty far over here. Very hard science. Pretty much the only thing that really violates the science, the physics of what we know in real life, is the Mass Effect itself. The whole zero energy thing. I'm not even going to go into it right now, but that is pretty much it. If you took that out and everything that's a consequence of that, this would full-on be straight from impossible in real life kind of a thing. Now, of course, all this stuff has to be added in order to have faster-than-light travel and biotics and cool stuff. But so I'm not complaining about that. I'm just saying it's also worth noting that Mass Effect tries very, very hard to be self-consistent. I've talked about this concept a lot. There's a difference between realistic and believable. Mass Effect keeps very self-consistent to itself within 1 and 2, and is very believable within its own setting. So it feels much more hard science than it actually is. It is actually like here, but it feels like it's over here considering how strongly self-consistent it is within itself. So, now where's the... I don't think I can actually do it yet. Or maybe it's in 2 I can do it. But anyways, my point being, most spaceships would not have a view screen, like in Star Trek, or indeed in Star Wars. There's a lot of problems with that from a genuine engineering functional reason to do that. And, yeah, so...
Good timing, Commander. I was just about to bring us into the Citadel. See that taxpayer money at work.
Of that ship.
The Ascension, flagship of the Citadel fleet.
Well, size isn't everything.
Why so touchy, Joker?
I'm just saying you need firepower too.
Look at that monster. Its main gun could rip through the barriers in any ship in the Alliance fleet.
Good thing it's on our side then.
Citadel Control, this is SSV Normandy, requesting permission to land.
Stand by for
By the way, that would be more setting fleshing out within the cutscenes, like I mentioned earlier.
Begin your approach. Transferring you to an Alliance operator.
Roger, Alliance Tower, Normandy out.
Rule number 1 for writers, story builders, etc. If you want to impress your viewers, your gamers, your players, your readers. You want to. It's hard to do that. It takes a special type of thing. The Citadel is impressive. But even that isn't enough. You can't just make something that's impressive. You have to present it impressively.
This is an outrage! The Council would step in if the Geth attacked a Turian colony?
The Turians don't found colonies on the borders of the Terminus systems, Ambassador.
Humanity was well aware of the risks when you went into the Traverse.
What about Saren? You can't just ignore a rogue Spectre. I demand action!
You don't get to make demands of the Council, Ambassador.
Citadel Security is investigating your charges against Saren. We will discuss the CSEC findings at the hearing, not before.
Captain Anderson, I see you brought half your crew with you.
Just the ground team from Eden Prime, in case you had any questions.
I have the mission reports. I assume they're accurate?
They are. Sounds like you convinced the Council to give us an audience.
They were not happy about it. Saren's their top agent. They don't like him being accused of treason.
Now, okay, finally. I was hoping he would shut up so I can talk here for a moment. First of all, this is not directed at you guys, it's directed at Udina. Okay, got that out of the way. Now, what I mean by presenting the Citadel, I don't actually mean the playing of the Citadel area. I will admit, I actually really enjoy the Citadel section. I know I'm weird. I know. It's weird enjoying the city section. I was true in Baldur's Gate 2 as well. The whole Othlica section and all the tons of quests you could do in there. I love that part. But even ignoring that, what I mean is the cutscene, the pre-rendered cutscene leading up to it, and the way the Citadel itself is rendered in the game. The Citadel is actually rendered with the in-game engine. and the fact that you can see the ring and you can understand. You don't actually have to figure that out. You have enough of a brain seeing the ring, seeing the artificial sky, seeing the way it's doing, that you understand where you are on the Citadel based on the earlier cinematic. And you could be like, oh, and it's just wow, you know, it's really impressive. And then you find out that you can actually go from the ring out onto those ramp things and, you know, actually climb up, because there's actual cities out on those things, and just it's wonderful. So very well done presentation. It is very impressive. Next thing I want to talk about, Udina was actually a very interesting character in Mass Effect 1, because he is exactly what a real-life ambassador basically would be like, given the circumstances that exist in Mass Effect 1. He is pretty much a full-on dick, but he is doing that because he does not actually need to. He's a dick to us, and he's a dick to most of the gamer, the viewer, the player. But it's worth noting that he does know how to present himself as a strong face and a strong force when it's needed, especially given... Okay, let me explain what I mean by this. He is not trying to be nice. He probably lacks the ability to be nice. But the point is, even though I hate his guts, he is pretty much the best ambassador we could have right now for the Citadel and for the Council especially, because we need someone who is going to be quote-unquote strong. Arguably, possibly even too strong. Someone who is going to make a stand, not going to take any guff, not going to make concessions, someone who's going to make demands, because that's exactly what humanity, by which I mean the Alliance, really wants at this point in time. The Alliance wants to push into galactic community, push into the Council. And so Udina is exactly the kind of ambassador that they would appoint to the situation. So he is not an evil person. He's a dick. But he's a dick who is very focused on getting the job done. And that's one thing I do actually like about the character of Udina. No matter how much I dislike him, and no matter how much his personality makes me want to rip his head off and dangle his spinal cord like a little chandelier, the fact of the matter is, he is well presented as someone who genuinely cares about the actual well-being of the Alliance, of humanity. I mean, true or false, you know? So, and again, his voice actor really gets across that point quite well. Speaking of which, we'll talk to him with his language.
I'm not gonna sit on my ass just because the Council doesn't want to do anything. If they won't stop Saren, I will.
Settle down, Commander. You've already done more than enough to jeopardize your candidacy for the Spectres. The mission on Eden Prime was a chance to prove you could get the job done. Instead, Nihilus ended up dead and the beacon was destroyed.
That's Saren's fault, not hers.
Then we better hope the CSEC investigation turns up evidence to support our accusations. Otherwise, the Council might use this as an excuse to keep you out of the Spectres. Come with me, Captain. I want to go over a few things before the hearing. Shepard, you and the others can meet us at the Citadel Tower, top level. I'll make sure you have clearance to get in.
And that's why I hate politicians.
And of course, the soldier would not like him. But I do also want to point out one other thing there. Everything I just said was just, again, they love to really show stuff right off the front. The way that he mentioned that whole thing, Shepard's concern, even not just Mai Zidenra Shepard, but Shepard in general's concern at this point in time is figuring out what Saren's up to, stopping the Geth, and saving people. That's what she's interested in. So in her mind, that's what's important. So she comes out, no matter which of the three options you pick them and it's like, we need to stop Saren, we need to figure this out, this is all bullcrap. Udina's response is, you've endangered your position as a Spectre. In other words, what he actually cares about, getting a human as a Spectre, getting human influence in Council, yada yada yada. That's what he actually cares about. It is worth noting he is not necessarily an antagonist or an opponent in this task. He is actually someone who becomes an ally. The only thing is, he wants to become an ally in the sense that humanity's interests are put first, and then we go ahead and now that we've got our new influence and prestige, we use that to stop Saren. Whereas Shepard just wants to cut through all the bullcrap and go stop Shepard. Or stop Saren, excuse me. So. Oh, right. Damn it. Pay attention, Arsh. No! No! Oh, I'm doing terrible. Jeez. More flavor. Oh my goodness, we have so much. So, okay, every time I play this game, I tend to have... The game up to this point, obviously, I mean, I'm only like an hour or two in. And then it's like, okay, Citadel. And then usually, on average, I play the Citadel section for about 10-ish hours. That's my average playtime for getting through the Citadel. And then I go beat the rest of the game. I promise I won't do that this time, but I am doing all the stuff. So I'd just like to say, I really like the idea of these guys. I can't think of their species name right now.
I will look into it for you.
Seriously, these guys are amazing.
I do not do anything rash.
Like Babylon 5, one of the things Mass Effect does well is, even though there's a generally humanoid-esque species, most of the aliens do feel more like actual aliens than in other shows. Star Trek being a pretty bad example of that, in all honesty. And these guys are amazing. The very concept of a species that can vocally communicate, but uses other forms of communication that we literally lack. Thank you, Elcor. That we literally lack the ability to sense, to get their different, to their tone and their body language. When we talk, we use our tone, our expression, our pitch, exactly the speed at which we talk, and our movements as we're doing all this stuff in order to communicate. We don't just use words. I did a video about that even. The Elcor do that too, but they do that with stuff we can't perceive, and indeed most species can't perceive. And so I love the idea of a species that not only has that alien nature, but then has gotten used to the idea of putting those prefaces at the beginning of each sentence so that people know the tonality with which they're saying their completely mundane comment.
Hello there, human.
Sincere apology.
But I am here on business and cannot be distracted right now.
I'm sorry, I love that. I really do.
You seem distressed. Is there something I can do to help?
Alarmed response.
Alarmed response.
You heard that, did you? This is all going so wrong, and it is the Asari consort's fault.
No, there is not, Tasty Snakes. Snacks, excuse me.
What did this Asari do to get you so upset?
I cannot speak more about this problem. It is too sensitive. Suffice it to say, she has compromised my authority as a diplomat.
Where can I find this Asari consort?
She is across the bridge from here. Her offices are easy enough to spot. Good day, human.
Love it. By the way, don't mistake me for bashing Star Trek. There were some... obviously, real-life budgetary concerns have to come in when it comes to something. In anything that isn't live action, making aliens is going to be harder. When you have a cartoon series or a CGI series or a video game, it's much easier. To make a point here, the Star Trek cartoon series, which some of you probably don't even know existed, had way more aliens, and indeed aliens on the bridge, and aliens as part of the regular crew members, than the original series did, because you can draw a lot easier than you can make a realistic-looking makeup. Same thing goes for... I was going to use another example. Well, whatever. It's just about... Oh, right, the Star Wars. Granted, Star Wars is kind of an exception because Star Wars, the movies, were movies and had plenty of budget to throw around. But my point is, how many times did they be able to show off weird and interesting aliens in the Clone Wars, for example? And to show off all the things they couldn't really do with live action in both of the Clone Wars series, in the cartoon and the CGI one that followed, so...
Pleased greeting.
Pleased greeting.
It is always good to see your kind. I am Ambassador Kalen. Genuine query. Is there something I can do for you this day?
You can actually ask about the speech thing there, but...
What do you do here?
I already know about it, of course.
Modestly.
Modestly.
I work to bring the problems and the requests of the Elcor groups to the attention of the Council.
Ha! They only give us these positions to keep us quiet. The Council doesn't care about our races.
Chastising rebuke. Your tone is inappropriate, Din. This human is not to blame for your malcontent or your misconceived suspicions.
Goodbye, Ambassador.
Sincere farewell. Good day to you, human. Enjoy your time on the Citadel.
The Elcor are generally friendly to everybody.
EarthClan, you are in the wrong place, I think. Your ambassador is next door in the large office.
Chastising remark. Don't be so rude, Din. At least introduce yourself.
I am Din Korlak, Volus ambassador. Is there something I can do for you, EarthClan?
I also like the Volus. It makes a lot of sense to me that there would be a species that was for those of you who don't know, the Volus were actually doing very well on their own world, but when they entered the intergalactic community, they found out that they were basically small fish in a large pond, which is something that's happened in real-life history a lot, too, with smaller countries that basically start reaching out to the international community. See you around, Ojunix. See you around, Tigran. So the idea of the Volus using the one thing that they're very, very good at, their their head for economics, basically, their ability to handle logistics and marketing and trade and the general reserves of whatnot and the market, and then leveraging that to actually basically put a foot in the door in the intergalactic community when otherwise they would basically just be a minor race or in the Babylon 5 equivalent, one of the non-aligned races. In other words, just not just like a footnote of the various races that exist in the world. I like the fact that the Volus managed to leverage what they had in order to actually become a part of the intragalactic community, and it makes a lot of sense to me that they would be so useful in their positions because of how well they've integrated themselves into the much, much stronger communities of, say, the Turians, the Asari, etc. around them. So,
I'd like to know more about the Volus.
I'm sure our history and culture would bore you, EarthClan.
Nope.
Actually, I would like to know more about your history.
My people came to the Citadel shortly after the Asari and Salarians had discovered it. We were instrumental in establishing a standardized galactic economy. However, despite our long association with the Citadel and our many contributions to galactic society, we still do not hold a seat on the Council.
Shadowlink, the answer is because those were saved for DLC.
Tell me about Volus culture.
We are tribal by nature, but our ways are not violent. We barter and trade our lands and tribe members in order to increase status. Larger tribes often engulf smaller ones and eventually split again. Our society is very malleable, and our government is always shifting and changing. Since we're not physically adept, we trade our services for protection.
Sorry, I swear I won't talk to every NPC about everything. I apologize, guys. I could probably summarize most of this myself.
Goodbye, Ambassador.
In fact, I kind of did already.
Yes, yes. Good day, EarthClan.
Hey, look, it's one of these... By the way, I am not doing this mission. Just a heads up. I mean, I guess I could, but I would want to pull up a map to do it, because I don't remember all their locations. Let's see. I think the Volus' political system is fascinating. I've actually done a few cultures, too, I can think of off the top of my head, that have a fairly similar form of approach to their government, and how it kind of just is basically intensely morphic, to the point where, for all intents and purposes, they don't actually have a centralized government in any strictest sense of the word. They just have people who represent them to the galactic community, and then that's it. I won't be talking to you until Mass Effect 2. Is it this way? Hey, 7th. What's up, man? One other thing Mass Effect did very well. Random NPCs walking around that you don't even have to talk to. Some of you can listen to, but the fact that they were there helped flesh out the world, so to speak, a bit more. Especially on the Citadel. Now, it is worth noting that Mass Effect was not exactly the first game to do that. In fact, not to point it out, but the Baldur's Gates were also quite good at that, and all the games of that era. But I do still like it. Where is There he is. No, I'm wrong. I'm going the wrong way, I think. No, we're not doing the strip club yet. We're not ready to go there. There? No, that's not him either. A person from Earth would be Earth Clan. Like he just said. I missed him somewhere. No. Zoom out. Okay. Zoom out. Okay, so that's up there. There's that. There's that. I need to grab that. And I need to... Okay. I'm looking for spreading the word of the Reapers guy. Spoiler alert. Yes, that! I'm looking for that guy. I swear he was right around here. Maybe he doesn't spawn yet. Actually, that's a good question. Okay, yeah, I guess we have to go to the Citadel thing. So... Yeah. I guess we're not actually starting the Citadel proper yet. My bad, guys. No, Shadowlink. The Citadel actually doesn't move basically at all. So I noticed there's this guy here named Executor Palin, which is alright. But then there's this guy named Garrus. I don't know, should we talk to him, guys? I mean, he's a Turian, and you know what Turians think of humans. So... I mean, we could just kind of leave and never ever talk to Garrus, whoever he is. He's got some kind of blue suit, too. It's weird. And it looks like he's calibrating the Executor there. Oh, so we should abandon him, Omni. Well, okay, I guess we could. Sorry, random person who I don't know who you are. Loser dude. Yeah, I know, you can actually miss Garrus. And Rex, I want to say? No, you have to get Rex. You have to get Tali, and you have to get Liara. I guess Garrus is the only one you can actually lose. Or miss. In one. Whatever. Garrus is like my favorite freaking character. No.
Saren's hiding something. Give me more time. Stall them.
Stall the council? Don't be ridiculous. Your investigation is over, Garrus.
Pencil manners, that was implied, but we don't know.
Commander Shepard, Garrus Vicarian. I was the officer in charge of the CSEC investigation into Saren.
I'd like to pause here and explain one of the reasons I like Garrus so much. I mean, I like Garrus' personality, and he's well written. But as with so many characters in this game, the voice actor completely sells him. It's kind of a shame he doesn't actually do that much voice acting. If you look at his credits, you probably wouldn't even recognize him in most stuff. He was in Saints Row too. But he nails the part of Garrus, especially in Mass Effect 2 when his entire tone is changed, so...
Come across anything I should know about?
Saren's a Spectre. Most of his activities are classified. I couldn't find anything solid. But I know he's up to something. Like you humans say, I feel it in my gut.
I think the Council's ready for us, Commander.
Good luck, Shepard. Maybe they'll listen to you.
Oh yeah, what happens to Liara if you do her mission last is she's been... You get to Liara and she's stuck in the stasis field, right? If enough time has passed, it doesn't actually have to be last, but enough time has passed and you go to her. She's been there without food or drink for, however long, and she thinks you're another hallucination, and the dialogue is actually really funny. I will not be doing that, for reference. I wouldn't mind a run button in this game, and don't tell me this is run, because it isn't. We're gonna go and get another quest really quick, right over here, I believe.
No, I'm waiting to speak with one of the Councilor's assistants.
Commander?
No, not him. Where is this guy? God, my memory is so vague. Hey, Kaiden. Go away.
No, I just want to ask a couple of questions.
Where is this dude? You know what? Whatever. I don't actually want to do it anyways.
The hearing's already started. Come on.
Sort of Omega, but only for
The
brief
Geth attack is
bursts.
a matter of some concern, but there is nothing to indicate Saren was involved in any way.
The investigation by Citadel security turned up no evidence to support your charge of treason.
An eyewitness saw him kill Nihilus in cold blood.
We've read the Eden Prime reports, Ambassador. The testimony of one traumatized dock worker is hardly compelling proof.
I resent these accusations. Nihilus was a fellow Spectre and a friend.
That just let you catch him off guard.
Captain Anderson, you always seem to be involved when humanity makes false charges against me. And this must be your protege, Commander Shepard, the one who let the beacon get destroyed.
The mission to Eden Prime was top secret. The only way you could know about the beacon was if you were there.
With Nihilus gone, his files passed on to me. I read the Eden Prime report. I was unimpressed. But what can you expect from a human?
Saren despises humanity. That's why he attacked Eden Prime.
Your species needs to learn its place, Shepard. You're not ready to join the Council. You're not even ready to join the Spectres.
He has no right to say that. That's not his decision.
Shepard's admission into the Spectres is not the purpose of this meeting.
This meeting has no purpose. The humans are wasting your time, Counselor, and mine.
That's a good question. Who does like humans? I don't. Now, I'd like to go ahead and say something. I've been praising the voice acting and the writing of this game this whole time, and I will continue to do so. This scene is probably the only exception to that. No matter which options you pick, you just... you come across as kind of a loon or an idiot or whatever, and it's just like, eh. So...
You can't hide behind the Council forever.
There is still one outstanding...
Good afternoon /
Commander
evening,
Shepard's
Shadow
vision.
Links.
It may have been triggered by the beacon.
Please
Are we
what,
allowing
Evil Knights?
dreams into evidence now? How can I defend my innocence against this kind of testimony?
I agree. Our judgment must
Hey,
be
they
based
brought
on
him back.
facts and evidence, not wild imaginings
The
and
guy that was dead.
speculation.
Nope.
Do you have anything else to
He's a new
add,
guy?
Commander Shepard?
You've made your decision. I won't waste my breath.
Max still looks really painful.
The Council has found no evidence of any connection between Saren and the Geth. Ambassador, your petition to have him disbarred from the Spectres is denied.
I'm glad to see justice was served.
This meeting is adjourned.
So of course, Udina's pissed because his politics
It was
just
a
have been
mistake
messed up.
bringing you into that hearing, Captain.
However-
You and Saren have too much history. It made the Council question our motives.
He is right about that.
I know Saren.
That one looks
He's
the
working
same
with
as
the
the
Geth for
dead
one
one.
reason.
What do you want from
To
me?
exterminate the
Has the
entire
same
human
facial
race.
markings and everything.
Every colony we have is at risk. Every world we control is in danger. Even Earth isn't safe.
Okay, again, voice acting.
The voice acting I'm doing right now is very good. For example...
Are you dead yet?
Okay, now I'm dead.
There, I hugged him to death for you. See, look, he's dead.
Oh. I still have neck issues. Damn it, sis.
It's not my fault your head is greasy.
So anyways, Alright, we're going to take this convenient opportunity to pause the stream because I need to fiddle with some stream settings anyways. But
so look at the really awful face meshing shadow thing problem.
I'll be back.
Bye.